Okay, so I want to tell you a story then, to bring this home. It's a book in the forest. Imagine there's a book in the forest. You're watching a film, and there it is. And along comes an animal, and the animal sniffs the book, and it sees that it's kind of has some colours. It kind of smells funny, and it tastes awful. So the animal spits it out. Off they go. They're not interested in the book. Fair enough. Now imagine that a woman from a tribe that lives in the forest comes along and discovers this object. And she picks it up, it's very curious. It opens and it closes, sort of soft and flexible. It's got squiggly marks in it. And she soon finds out that this book is really, really, really good for making fires. It's excellent for starting fires. And again, that's fine. Now imagine that a child has wandered into the forest from a nearby town. They're quite literate, they go to school, and they find the object. And of course, they immediately recognize it as a book. But they can't read, not very well. So they don't really know, but they know it's a book. And then along comes maybe the parents, contemporary adult, and she starts reading it, but throws it away because it's really very, very difficult to understand. Doesn't make a lot of sense. So then next along comes a physicist, and they open a book and they start reading, and they are very interested because this book seems to describe a really profound understanding of quantum physics. And then finally, the book is found by a woman who's both a physicist, so she knows about physics and quantum mechanics, and also has a very vibrant spiritual life, involved in contemplation, and she's very well developed in those areas. And then not only does she appreciate the brilliant quantum physics, but also there's some wonderful understandings about the nature of reality that are implicit in this book. And as well as that, of course, the limited ability of the words to grasp really fundamental reality, whatever that is. I don't know. Now, I like this story because the book stays the same. The book is always the book, right? And the other important thing is that every single person or animal that found that book was correct. It is good for lighting fires. It doesn't taste good at all. It is about quantum physics. But the point is that you can only get from the book what you bring to the book. You only get from whatever, in this metaphor, the book, but you can substitute whatever you like for that, whatever situation, what you bring. Now, that doesn't mean to say you can't learn and bring more to it, but we can miss things, not because we're stupid, but because we just don't see them, and we don't know that we don't know. Yeah, we just don't know. Now, we don't, of course, there are levels and levels and levels. We never know how far we can go. But I think what I like about this is that this story tells you that what you know and what you can know depends on who you are. So it's very important for us to develop ourselves as coaches, as people, as coaches. You might say even more in these difficult times. And perhaps these difficult times, because they are stressful, give us even more possible opportunities to develop ourselves, much more stressful opportunities, if you like. You know, it's like weightlifting. Suddenly you've got to lift this very heavy weight and you haven't done that before. So there are opportunities here, and it's important to develop ourselves, to look after ourselves. It's again, you know, the old metaphor of when you get on an aeroplane, something I haven't done for several weeks, certainly. and probably you guys haven't either. But you remember what they say in the safety briefing: in the unlikely event of the air supply failing, oxygen masks will drop from the ceiling. Make sure you put on your own oxygen mask before you help anybody else, because if you don't, you are liable to pass out, and then you're no use to anybody, and you're no use to yourself either. So I like to also say, look after yourself. Yes, of course, this doesn't mean to say you don't look after other people at all. Yes, it's really important. And the medical personnel who are doing such incredible work for others at the moment have my greatest admiration. And they need to look after themselves as well, because if they get ill, then they can't help the other people who are ill.